There are 6 approaches to change that you can take as a person or as a company or as a group of people. The first approach to change is the avoidant approach to change. Let's use going to the beach of life as the metaphor. The people that use the avoidant approach to change go to the beach of life, and the first thing they do is stick their head in the sand. Do you have any friends that are doing that? Like things are way too changing, and they don't want to know about it, and they literally stick their head in the sand. That's the avoidant approach to change. The second approach to change you can take is the apathetic approach to change. With the apathetic approach to change, at least you're doing something. You go to the beach of life and you sit down on the bench and you watch everybody else swim and you watch everybody else surf, right? And if you're sitting on the beach of life watching everybody else doing things, what happens to your rear end? Goes to sleep, doesn't it? Okay, it gets numb. And you see some litter around your bench and you say, somebody ought to pick that litter up. So in other words, you get a numb rear end. You're always looking at what people aren't doing, what they should be doing. The third approach is the resistant approach to change. With the resistant approach to change, you fight it. You fight it. You go to the beach of life and you paddle out there in your surfboard. And what you do is you look out at the ocean and you see a big old wave that's coming in that wasn't there the day before. And it's a big wave that's going to rock your boat, that it's going to change things. And what you do, because you don't like the wave, you stand up and yell at the wave. Don't like you, you weren't here yesterday, get out of here, right? What's going to happen 2 or 3 seconds later? Boom, it's going to hit you and knock you off your surfboard. And some people go through life resisting changes like that. And that's what happens to them. The year's 1971. Southwest Airlines starts flying down in Texas. There were 2 airlines that tried to stop Southwest Airlines. Literally went to court to try to block them from flying. What were the 2 airlines? Braniff, out of business, and Texas Airways, both out of business. The 2 airlines that instead of adapting to what Southwest Airlines was doing, they fought Southwest Airlines. And as a result, spent all their time and energy fighting that, and as a result, went out of business because they weren't paying attention to their own business. That's the resistant approach to change. The fourth approach to change you can take is the reactive approach to change. You can react to the change. You're out there on your surfboard. You're going out there and you're not even looking at the waves. The waves are coming from your backside. A wave hits you, knocks you off your surfboard, and now you got to get up and get on your surfboard. That's the reactive approach to change. You can react quickly or you can react slowly. You can't anticipate and create all the change in your life, so you need to be good at reacting to change on a fairly regular basis. Okay, we'll talk more about that in a second. The fifth approach to change you can take is the anticipatory approach. You can anticipate the change. You have a pretty good idea of what's going to happen. What do all great surfers do, or any surfer for that matter? They're paddling out there in their surfboard. They're really studying the waves, aren't they? And they see a big old wave that's coming along that's just the right size, just the right shape. What do they do a few seconds before the wave gets to them? They're paddling. See, they paddle before the wave comes. And now what can they do with the wave? Ride it. See, if you ever want to ride a wave of any kind of change, you need to anticipate it before it gets to you. And you need to start doing something before it gets to you. The other thing that anticipation will do for you, it'll help you avoid all the cliffs of life. I think in our lives, and even in our businesses, if we're going in exactly the same straight line, there's going to be a cliff there. Now, I don't know if that cliff is a mile out, 10 miles out, or 100 miles out. What happens if you see the cliff 10 miles before you get to it? How big of a change in direction do you have to make? Small change, right? See what I mean? Make a small change in direction, you're going to miss it. What happens if you see the cliff 1 mile before you get to it? You're going to have to make a bigger change, but you can still avoid it. What happens if you see the cliff 10 feet before you get to it? You're gone, because your momentum is going to take you over, I can guarantee it. You can do a lot better job of avoiding your cliffs with anticipation. Bill Gates, back in the, what would have been in the 70s, early 70s, a lot of this stuff happened in the 70s. Bill Gates, IBM comes to him and says, would you put together some operating software for our computers? What do you say? Yeah. IBM, what were they thinking about back then? Where did they think all the money, all the action, where was it going to be? Hardware. It was all hardware, hardware, hardware. Bill Gates knew it was going to be software. So as a result, he spends $50,000 to buy some of this stuff, gets involved in that, and he has ridden that wave of change to the tune of about, what is it, $65 billion. Okay? That's the power of anticipation. The sixth approach to change you can take is the creative approach to change. With the creative approach to change, you make your own waves. You go out there from the beach of life, you go out there in the ocean, you're making your own waves, and now you get to ride on waves of your own making, and other people have to respond to your waves. The creative approach to change. Here's what I'd like you to do. In your handouts here, circle numbers 4, 5, and 6 of those 6 approaches to change. Circle number 4, 5, and 6 because in a real world, you're going to want to be good at reacting to change and learning how to react to change quickly. You're also going to want to be good at anticipating change and creating change. Those are the 6 approaches to change that you can take.